Hey, YouTube, back in the shop. It is August 17th, and today we are hopefully going to start zipping the rudder skins up. So we have the rudder skins laid out. Got to tie, or got to rivet down the top and actually the bottom supports. So we're going to get that in today. As I was setting this up, I want to show you guys something, especially on here. So on this piece here, we have to leave these three open. If we rivet starting on this end here, see how that curves up? I don't know if you guys can see that curve. Let me move it around here. Hopefully you can see how that angles up right there. So when back riveting this one, it's better to rivet here and then roll this way than it is to rivet this and then try to force this down. So we're gonna back rivet starting here, and then as we rivet this way, we'll zip it, and that will kind of roll that piece of aluminum. So that's what we got on store for us today. The first challenge for today, and then we have the other side, which I'm sure we got to do the same thing. So I appreciate you guys joining me today as I'm here in the shop, and we're gonna do what we can do today, right? I mean, it's not a race and everything. So we're gonna, the goal is we got a little bit further than I expected to yesterday, which is great. So we're a little bit ahead of our schedule, whatever that may be. Yeah, we're looking good. But we're gonna do what we can do. Usually the thing for me is about 2 hours. After that, I start doing stupid things. I do stupid things throughout the day, but stupid things on the airplane and stuff. So that's about my quitting time. But we're going to work and see how far we can get today. So with that, like always, this plane's not going to build itself. So hang loose, and when I join, we should have all the pieces in, and I'll kind of show you where we're at, and hopefully, maybe, I'm fingers crossed. All right, YouTube. All right, so I know here it is, the rudder. It's fully assembled. So I could have shot individual videos and everything, but you saw me put the stiffeners in. The only thing that's different is what we do here is when we make the surfaces, we use these blind rivets to go here. We could have used our squeezer to do this. I agree with Jason on this one, Jason Ellis. We could have used our squeezers, but they have us doing blind rivets. So basically you just mate the two pieces together, and then you put these brackets in here and you blind rivet these. Now all of these rivets from this whole side are going to be blind riveted. So then what you have to do is inside you reach in with your rivet gun. I'm not going to do it with the hand squeezer, and you pop a rivet. I'll go over here, just one, there's one hole here, and then these two up here, right here and here. And that's how you do it. I'm not going to do it tonight because when you do this section, the instructions are very clear. This is when we put the goop on the trailing edge, and we'll move the bench around. And I was kind of looking at this trailing edge. They said put weight on it. I was thinking of every other cleco to kind of hold it, but because these are dimpled, these clecos don't, I mean, they do pull pretty good, but not really great. So I'm gonna make a jig, a 2x4 jig that's gonna run the length of this. I gotta cut this off here, trim that up. But I'm gonna make a 2x4 jig or a clamp, a vice clamp, and I'm gonna clamp down on that, and I'm gonna use some of my C-clamps that I use for my bright work for boats and stuff, and we're gonna clamp that down. But I was thinking that you can take clecos and alternate, boom, 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 but that still doesn't, see, there's a lot of play in that, and you want that as squeezed down as much as possible. And because these are dimpled, the cleco doesn't grab flush on the other side to pull it together. So I'm gonna build a little 2x4, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It's just gonna be two 2x4s that I'm gonna lay on top of this, and then I'm gonna C-clamp them down. So it's not even really a vise. That way it gets equal pressure all the way across all of the pieces, so it distributes. So So with that being said, tomorrow we're gonna do this operation. I felt it was a little bit late in the evening to do that. Now, one of the other things I did not do is there's 2 rivets here that I have to buck, and it's really hard to do it with this being flimsy. So I'm gonna, put it together, get it some more support, and now I can probably buck these a lot better. Or I'll get someone, maybe Steve or Bill, to come in and help me buck these. So I'll just leave these open until I get someone. Now, Jason talked about getting to this rivet right here. Now the plans, Jason Ellis, the plans have probably since changed for him on this one. These here are pop rivets or are blind rivets now. You don't have to buck, so to get a bucking bar into that slot is going to be near impossible. So he did it though. It was crazy. But so the instructions, if you go here, they actually tell you right there to use the CCR count. Those are the countersink rivets, 3-2s. So these here are going to be blind riveted in. That way you don't have to worry about getting a bucking bar in there to buck those. But these 2 here and here, it was kind of rough with this thing having no structure to it. So I'm gonna buck those. So we got everything put together. Everything's riveted up and it's ready to go, as I said. But tomorrow is goop day. And they say it is nasty, and they tell you to do it. You have about 2 hours, working hours, and everything. But I've got to get some 2x4s out of the shop so I can build those. I got to cut them. I think I got 2 8-foot sections, so I'm gonna get those and cut those so they're not so cumbersome, and then we'll get that clamped down. I'm gonna kind of walk through how I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna get that gooped up. And then we're going to pop rivet, or you call it pop rivet, but the technical term is blind rivet these together. And then this piece here will then get blind riveted. Once that is together, then this piece here gets blind riveted in the place here, this spar. So that is it. And guess what? Then after we do that, we'll have to do some things. There's some counterweights that go in here. So there's a whole operation. I was told to pretty much count on about a day's worth of work there, or 2 day, not a day, 8-hour day, but my day, a 2-hour window for that, and everything, because that will, because you got to bend this, and there's a whole operation there. And then these here, we got to curl these so that it's rounded. So these are actually rounded, and so that's an operation as well. So we've got about, I'd say about 5 more days worth of work on this, and then we'll be getting ready to start on the stabilizer, the horizontal stabilizer, which is awesome. So moving right along, and everything. All right, so I know today wasn't a whole lot of cutaway shots and showing you the particular, because today was really a lot of rinse and repeat day. You saw me back riveting. Yeah, I probably could have shown you how to do the blind rivets, but that's just putting them in and squeezing them with a gun. You use this tool here. This thing is awesome because it rotates. The head rotates, so you can put it in different angles. Oh, one thing that I did that I want to caution you about. When you are pop riveting or when you're blind riveting those, make sure this metal or these angles aren't digging into your skin. I caught myself doing that a couple of times. You can adjust this so that they're at different angles and stuff, but make sure these corners don't dig into your skin, the skin of the airplane, because it will crease it or put a little blemish in it. I caught myself doing that one time, so I have to caution you about that. But other than that, it was pretty much rinse repeat. There's really no reason to do a lot of cutaway shots. I think you guys are getting the idea. And like I said, I'm just going to pull out things that I think you need to be aware of, or things that I ran into. Maybe it can help you and stuff. So like I said, everything went together as planned. It zipped right up. This thing is, it did exactly what it had to do. It's also very important that you get the orientation of what goes on top of what when you're putting these together. So really what happens is that as you do the one side. Everything else goes on top when you go the other, except for the bottom, if that makes sense. I'll show it in the video or in the cutaway here and everything. But that's the main thing. Just be cautious and be cognitive of how you layer the two pieces together, because if you don't, it will put a ripple in it and things will not line up and everything. But I'm really happy with it. Yeah, I wish I could have got to the other part, but you know, it's just too much, you know, too much at one time and stuff. So we'll you know, tomorrow, that's what we, you know, we look forward. It gives me something to look forward to when I come in tomorrow. So that's it. So tomorrow we're gooping. We're gonna be gooping. They said this stuff is nasty. I've never used it. Pro Seal is what it's called. Never used it, but everybody that's used it says it smells horrible. Now I got it in a mixer in a tube that you mix up and then you caulk gun it out. So, but it's still gonna smell. But I don't think it's gonna be as messy. And it's a single use kind of thing. So you at one time you buy little tubes, enough for the edges. So. All right, so with that being said, I just want to say thank you for joining another night with me in the shop. I appreciate you. You know, make sure you tell your friends, your other RV posts on there. Let them know about us, about me doing this, because, you know, it's a community. You know, the more people that we get involved in this and you guys go along this journey, you know, you might catch something that I don't. You might have some great knowledge. I know there's a lot of RV tent builders, over 1,000 of you guys out there. So if you see anything that I'm doing wrong or whatever, hey, you know, call it out. Call it out. That's what it's all about. You know, it's a journey. I'm learning as I go. I just, one of the greatest attribute or things that I was ever taught in school was how to read. You know, Vans has done an outstanding job on these instructions. You just got to learn how to read them. You got to comprehension. You got to learn what they mean by skin versus, you know, other things. So it's just a matter of reading. If you can read, you can build one of these. So, well, enough of that being said. I just want to say thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification button. Leave a comment. As long as you keep it about the airplane, I'll get back to you. And like always, be safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family and everything. And may God bless you.